to have a certain curriculum met. The government gives this curriculum to the parents, requires that the parents take at least a certain period of time learning about this, they are required to go into government tests. I believe it is every semester. Yes?
Knowing the information is one thing, but knowing how to teach is a totally different subject, and that's what we were discussing at that point.
Okay, so first of all, I think children are some of the best people for learning. They have the ability to learn in such astounding ways that you lose after reaching a certain point. All right, this way is why we can, if we give them these resources, they can learn to a certain point, and then they can expand that by using other resources and expanding upon this knowledge that they already have. I'd like to now go on to my next rebuttal. They say that how with this system of homeschooling, the parents, the only view are the major view that these children inherit. And however, I'd like to bring up that even in children who go to school, little conventional schools, the major opinions they hold are those of their parents. You grow up with your parents for so long and you have all these ideas put up upon you. You tend to, and the stats and statistics are against what their point. The majority of children when they grow up, vote for the same party, or at least for the same political sphere as their parents did. The majority of children will go to the same religion, will have the same political views, and have the same opinions. You also have this effect to a lesser degree with teachers. So, you go to school and you have the same opinions as your teachers or as your parents. You adopt these things. This is in no way different with homeschooling, nor is it different with conventional schooling. Now I'd like to go into my first constructive point. Right. This bill would negatively affect people with disabilities for whom the conventional schooling system is harmful, dangerous, or counterproductive. These people, for example, people with highly developed autism, cannot cope with such a system as a school, but can be excessively successful in a homeschooling environment. But the problem they have with conventional schooling is they have this influx of information coming at them, all this different, everything that's totally different from their normal day-to-day life. However, they find at home they can be up to genius levels. For example, you have what's known as autistic savants, who in the conventional schooling system would be ridiculed as idiots and fools, and people who are, they would normally be recorded as such an IQ as 70. However, if you go into the homeschooling system, they have magnificent math skills, for example. Now, I'd like to now go into my next point, and how the passing of this law would remove potential options for children. If a child wishes to go into a homeschooling program because they think it would be best for them, I think that it would be in their best interest for them to go into these programs. And these programs have been found to be just as effective as normal schooling. So by passing this law, we'd be removing options for this child and perhaps even in putting a barrier to their further success in life. Now, I'd like to go into another point, right, about how how this law would be about how the proposition point about this being a lack of social interaction is negative. I'd like to point out that today's society is much different than it was, for example, even 10 years ago. 10 years ago, if you wanted to have a social life of any kind, you have to go out, you had to be in a room full of other people. However, today we have such programs such as Skype, Facebook, and other such programs that allow for instantaneous communication with somebody even across the world. For example, I have been using a program for the last year that allows me to communicate with a friend in France and family in France. So therefore, we have this ability to communicate with even a wider range of people than necessarily the conventional schooling program. Yeah. So I'd like to thank everybody here today. This has been a most interesting debate. Thank you.
Alright, I'd like to call Evelyn to the floor to deliver her counter speech not lasting more than 6 minutes. First and last minute are protected time. Things start from Vicky Locate.
Good afternoon, honorable judges and opposition. Here I'm going to talk about why we need to ban why we need to ban the homeschooling program, because I know homeschool is comfortable and less work, but what's the point of going to school is like with friends? I think the point of going to school is getting to know the socializing with people, new people, and new other extracurriculums. If people do a lot of homeschooling, then where do they make friends or get like get organization from their university stuff? And what do they do at the home? Like, do they only need to do their schoolwork, or do they just waste of their time doing our computer game or just online chatting things? Well, as they said before, they can socialize through their Facebook or Skype, but it's not actual socializing stuff, and we need to learn how to, yeah.
Is socialization not just the interaction between two or more people, therefore fully gained by these programs?
But like, we can say it now, but for our social program and getting to our career or some other activities, we need to actually know how to interact with people and learn how to have communication with other people. But Facebook and Skype is just like sitting in the room and like having communication with other with monitor or other chatting stuff. So it's not helping kids anymore. And at the home, even though they do a lot of schoolwork, it's not. Well, no. I mean, we allow if school is 15 kilometer. We allow the homeschooling if school is away from 50 kilometer range, but some kids are having homeschooling even though they are within the 15 kilometer range. That means they're just lazy and don't want to do any school homeworks. But we need to, as I said before, we need to experience those kind of hard things. And also, the opposition said about the bowling or lack of social interaction, but that's